So we're here again with Chef Jeff's Kitchen, Soup for the Soul, and we have a very special helper here to give us a little bit of an idea of what we're going to put in our soup stock today. There is no right or wrong answer. You can put just about anything you want. Now there are some things you don't want to be putting in there, like your peels of your vegetables, your skins of, say, your onion. It'll create a bitterness, just not what you're looking for. You want it to be a quality vegetable. But our little helper is going to show you here what we have. For our our aromatics, we're going to have some garlic, some bay leaves, about 5. We're going to have a small, maybe about a tablespoon of some peppercorns, some black peppercorns. And we've got some fresh thyme from our garden we're actually going to throw in there as well. And our helper can throw that right inside of our stock pot right there, which is what we're going to use. So you can pop that right in there. Yep. Next we have asparagus ends and we have broccoli ends. Now this is what I'm talking about with food wastage. In almost every home kitchen that I've ever been in and ever seen from my friends and family and other people that I've met over my life would just put this in the garbage, or at the best, to compost. Well, if you think about all the nutrients and all the goodness that's left in this, it's such a shame that something like this would get thrown out. So what we do in our family is we try to save all these end pieces, and we will keep those. So why don't you toss those in there? Alright, so here we have our golden trio. In French, this is known as a mirepoix. It's known throughout a lot of different cultures for its wonderful flavoring principles. We have our celery, which has a very, very small amount of MSG in it, which actually provides a lot of natural, delicious flavor. We have our onions, about 2 onions in there, and we have 3 large carrots. And as you can see, we have the end pieces. And a lot of the time I will actually buy carrots or have carrots. I will save all my end pieces for just my stock. In this case, we didn't have that kind of luxury, so we just used some full carrots. But you can go ahead and toss that in there as well. Now last but not least, the star of our show, here you go, is our chicken carcasses. Now as you can see, we just roasted up a couple of chickens, and after we'd removed most of the meat off of them, we had these carcasses left over. Well, what do most people do with their carcasses? They toss them in the garbage. They think they're useless, and we're going to show you right now, right here, that that is not the case. There's so much goodness in this. There is so much gelatin and nutrients, vital energy left in these bones in this carcass, and we're going to utilize it. So why don't you pop that in there? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill this up with some nice cold water. And yes, we do want cold water. That does make a difference. And the reason is that cold water, as it heats up, is going to help draw the impurities out of what's in here. If we were to use hot water, we wouldn't have the same kind of foam and that you'll see soon enough here as we get started. But we're going to fill this up with some water. And this is going to be a very, very concentrated stock. A lot of the time I wouldn't have maybe quite this proportion of water to our vegetables and our bones. But once again, this is not a science. This is more of an art, in my opinion. There's, like I said, there's certain things you don't want to be putting in your stock, but there's a lot of things you can. For a little bit more information on that, you can do a Google search, or if you have any questions, I can clarify them for you as well. But that's the wonderful thing about stocks. There's no right way or wrong way. There's better ways, for sure. We're going to try to teach you some fundamentals. We're going to fill this up. And as you can see, we're getting there. We've got these guys almost full. And then we are going to pop this on the stove. Oh yeah, lots of goodness in there, I'll tell you. We're going to put this on our stove. And we are going to have it at a nice low temperature. We're only going to keep it at like maybe a 3.5. It's going to be a nice slow go. We're going to let this cook out for between 3 and 4 hours. That's for a chicken stock. Different stocks have different times. Vegetable, usually about an hour. If you're doing a bone broth with beef bones, you're going to be looking at 6 to 8 hours. So there are different ways to do this, but this is the most simple, the most kind of home friendly, because how many people roast chickens? I mean, it's a pretty popular thing. Some people even buy them pre-cooked at wherever a grocery store you prefer to shop at. And you have the beautiful carcass left over. Use it, people. Now, we're going to let this go. I'm going to come back in a little bit here once we get this rocking and rolling a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to skim. This is a very, very important part about the cooking process. You want to make sure you get all those impurities and the fat layer off the top, or it won't do what you want, which is a nice clear stock. So, like I said, we're going to be back in a little while here. We'll show you how to skim and at what point you want to skim, and we'll be seeing you then. Hello, well, you're back in the kitchen with Chef Jeff. Just a quick little reminder here, or I guess instruction. You can see some little bit of foam building up on the top in the middle there, but more predominantly there's a layer of fat separating on the top, and what that's doing is it's preventing it from breathing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to gently stir around and create a little bit of a vortex. What that's going to do is it's going to force the fat up along the edges. Then you take your ladle and you just kind of skim the top and you collect a lot of that fat. And you might collect a couple of peppercorns or pieces of vegetable along your way. Well, that's okay. Well, good evening. You're back with us here, and we were just about to strain our soup. It's been going for about 4 hours now at a very nice low simmer, and I can't stress that enough. It's all about maintaining that constant temperature and having a very nice low simmer. You don't want it boiling heavily. You're going to end up with a really cloudy stock. As you can see, this has got a nice clear finish. Unfortunately, when we go to strain it, it's going to get, definitely a little bit of particulates in there. But we've got a beautiful stock here. It's reduced down by probably a liter at least. And we're ready to roll here. So we're going to go and strain her out into a much smaller container, because a lot of this is all of those other bits and pieces and scraps that we put in to make this beautiful, super nourishing stock. Yeah, that's okay. So we're gonna let that go, get all the goodness out into that pot. We're gonna cool her down in a cold water bath in our sink. And yeah, that's the end of her. We're gonna show you what we're gonna do with it next time.